South China Morning Post, 13th of June 2023, with Asian trade agreements, the UAE creates a corridor of opportunity to entice Chinese investment. To keep its position as ASEAN's top Middle Eastern economic partner, the UAE is moving quickly to finalize trade agreements with numerous ASEAN members. To keep its position as its top commercial partner in the Middle East, the United Arab Emirates is moving swiftly through the CEPA negotiations with various Southeast Asian nations. The UAE is attempting to boost its negotiating leverage with China and other powers in the West by capitalizing on its first-mover advantage over regional rivals like Saudi Arabia in growth markets like the Association of Southeast Asian States, analysts said. The reasons behind the UAE's reach into ASEAN should be viewed much more broadly as its strategic aims in attaining, as an Arab country, both regional and global leadership. In addition to Indonesia in July and India in May last year, Cambodia became the third Asian nation to sign a CEPA with the UAE on Thursday. To keep its position as ASEAN's top Middle Eastern economic partner, the UAE is moving quickly to finalize trade agreements with numerous ASEAN members. Thani bin Ahmed Al Saudi, the UAE's trade minister, visited the area and reached agreements with Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam. He returned to Phnom Penh last week to sign a deal with Cambodia. He stated at the signing ceremony that the UAE is building a corridor of opportunity between the Persian Gulf and Southeast Asia by lowering or eliminating tariffs, removing trade obstacles, and opening up new opportunities for strategic investment. As the last step in the UAE's application to join the bloc as a sectoral dialogue partner, the UAE signed the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation with ASEAN in August last year during the region's Foreign Ministers' Conference, which officially launched CEPA. Regular high-level interactions and dialogue, including ministerial and summit meetings, are typical of dialogue partnerships. The CEPAs of the United Arab Emirates, according to Chay, are formulated as a template that extends well beyond the terms of a regular free trade agreement. According to Chay, these accords signal a wider diplomatic engagement, touching on softer, if not strategic sectors including healthcare, digital collaboration, education, and even environmental preservation. The CEPAs represent Abu Dhabi's pursuit of its objectives on a bilateral basis, outside of the Gulf Cooperation Council's (GCC) authority, enabling it to control the terms and timing of any agreements that emerge from the discussions. Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia comprise the GCC. The UAE's efforts to diversify not only in terms of its economy and staying ahead of the GCC pack, but also in terms of its international partnerships across regions are supported by these measures, according to Chay, on a larger scale. With Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman visiting Thailand and South Korea in November, the GCC nations are looking more closely at Asia. Therefore, Chay said, the UAE's CEPA talks with Asian nations represent significant bearings in maintaining its first-mover advantage among its GCC peers. According to Andreas Krieg, an associate professor at King's College London School of Security Studies, the UAE is looking towards opportunities to create synergies and interdependencies with other protagonists that it can use as leverage with great powers, such as China, Russia, or the United States. For the UAE's commerce and logistics networks, Southeast Asia is a crucial region for expansion that is immediately adjacent to China's sphere of influence, according to him. To further increase synergies and overlaps, Abu Dhabi is hoping to create nodes in this region where it can cooperate or even co-invest with China, Krieg said, adding that the Gulf was becoming an important linchpin between East and West amid rising great power competition in a multipolar world. As a regional hub in the Gulf, the UAE has long attempted to leverage its elevated position as a hub for finance, commerce, and logistics networks that reach from East Asia to Europe and beyond. The UAE has become a key point of interest for China as a result, who wants to cooperate with the UAE to access its networks, doing so as a partner on par rather than a great power speaking to a small power, Krieg added. As a result, ASEAN member states have access to major international cities like Dubai, which has excellent connections not just to the West but especially to the East and Africa. ASEAN's economic growth may be accelerated by the UAE's deep pockets for strategic investments in the region, which also provides the UAE access to vital regional infrastructure that Abu Dhabi can use as leverage, according to Krieg. According to Chay of the National University of Singapore, incoming investments from sovereign wealth funds in the Gulf are the main attraction for potential Asian recipients. Regarding digitalization and logistics as engines of economic progress, Southeast Asian nations and the UAE share a common vision. The trade in services will also be a shared thread that both parties will look to both forge and strengthen due to the digital transformation, Chay said. Oil has historically played a significant role in GCC ASEAN commerce, but there is a sense now that, particularly for the UAE, that the sectors for bilateral cooperation should be much more fluid and varied, he noted.